And today we are stopping this fake it till you make it fallacy that a lot of students live with. If you are a student, if you are a pre-med and you've been told fake it till you make it, or you are living a fake it till you make it lifestyle, I'm going to show you why that's wrong. And I'm going to teach you what you should do instead, guys, so you can be a happier, more productive, and actually more successful student. Because do we want fake success or do we want real success? If the answer is real success, watch this video, y'all. Let's get right into it. All right, guys.
But stop making excuses, stop whining, stop, right? Get at it. No excuses, just dominate.
All right, guys. Happy Saturday. It's Saturday morning. Thank you for joining me on my Saturday morning. Thank you for joining me on your Saturday morning, giving up your Saturday. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing wonderfully? Huh? Can I change backgrounds? Oh, hit you with multiple colors. All right, so today we're talking about fake it till you make it. And what prompted this was, it's funny, the universe always brings me what I need to go live with you guys. And so the first net prompted this was that I watched the Milli Vanilli documentary on Amazon Prime. Have you guys seen this Milli Vanilli documentary? Do you guys know who Milli Vanilli is? That's how old I am. I remember Milli Vanilli. You guys maybe don't. But in short, you should watch this documentary. It's amazing on Amazon Prime. But Milli Vanilli was a group of two black guys from Germany that took the world by storm. And in under a year, they went from unknown to winning a Grammy. They were like the top selling like artist. It was amazing, right? Girl, you know it's true. Oh, come on, right? We all knew it if you were, one of us old people. But anyway, so they took the world by storm. And then after they won their Grammy, people looked closer at them and realized that these guys actually were not even on the record they won the Grammy for. And actually the whole thing was faked by this whole elaborate production scheme. And I won't ruin the documentary for you, but basically everyone ate Milli Vanilli alive and blamed these guys as fakes and as liars. But really, as so often happens, they were the scapegoats. And really it was a whole industry-wide thing that was happening behind the scenes. But regardless, when I watched this documentary, I watched two guys buckling under the grips of pressure of being a fake, of being a fraud, and trying to make it. I just want to be famous. I just want to be rich. And so they were faking it until they made it. But it turns out all that fakeness prevented them from actually making it. And what's crazy about the documentary, fast forward to the end, and one of the members killed himself because he was so, right, it was such a backlash they received for faking it. But the other one is still alive, and actually he sounds incredible. He has his own music stuff, and it would have been a thing if they would have just put the work in, they could have been the real thing as opposed to faking it. And for many students, you live that way. And so I said, the universe brings me what I need. Well, this week in coaching, right, in my Study Less, Get Better Grades coaching group for my 5 Pillars of Studying Less and Get Better Grades course, right, the course comes with coaching, one of my students who's in pharmacy school now, okay? So she's been working with me. She's in 5 Pillars, learned how to study, got herself into pharmacy school. She's with me all through undergrad. Then she gets to pharmacy school, and as so often happens with you guys you reach a landmark, right? You get to a place like, oh yes, I got into pharmacy school. So now that I'm in pharmacy school, I'm a big dog. I shouldn't listen to the people who got me here. And so she stopped listening to me and started listening to the people at her pharmacy school and to her fellow pharmacy students. And she went away from our principles of studying, right? Our sound, proven principles of studying, and started following the crowd at her school because she wanted to fit in. She wanted to do as they were doing. And so she was just going to lecture and sitting through lecture and trudging through and doing it the typical way that, pharmacy students, medical students do it. And quickly, right, within the first 6 months, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. So she came to coaching and she was like practically in tears about her experience and how overwhelmed she felt in pharmacy school. I was like, well, what are you doing? And they started saying what she was doing. And everybody on the screen, right, because we have all the students up, are like, no, that's not it. That's not what we do. And I said, Stephanie, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you choosing to do the wrong thing? And she said, well, this is what everybody else is doing, right? And how many of you guys have been in that situation where you're going through your classes and you're doing what everyone else is doing? Because you want to be perceived as fitting in. You want to feel like you fit in. You want to feel like part of the crowd. So you're faking like you can do what they do, right? And so that was Stephanie was doing. I was like, no, Stephanie, stop. Go back to basics. Go back to fundamentals. Do what we do. And now fast forward another 6 months, and Stephanie came to coaching and she said, hey, Dr. Pinesett, I just want to say, how do you deal with looking at other people and what they're doing, and it's so different from what you're doing, and not feel guilty? And I'm like, what? I said, well, how are things going? I mean, before you were in tears. What's going on now? You seem so relaxed. She's like, oh, well, everything's going great. I feel more prepared for my classes. My grades are up. Everything's going great. And I said, well, then why do you feel guilty? And she's like, because I'm not doing it the way everyone else is doing it. And I was like, ooh, live stream time, right? Because for you guys as students, I know In my career, again, I've been through all this stuff before. When I was an undergrad, I got to UC Irvine. I didn't feel like I fit in already. And so I was doing everything I could to fit in and not stand out, not be the sore thumb. And so it came in two varietals. And this is what happens for a lot of students. These two varietals, you're one of these two cases in this fake it till you make it world. The first one is you are afraid, to stand out. And so you want to fit in with what everyone else is doing so you don't challenge what is considered the status quo, what should be done. And so what other people are doing in class, oh, I just show up to class, I don't prepare beforehand. Oh, you know what? After the lecture, I just look at the slides and I move on. Oh, I cram right before the quiz and blah, blah. You do all the things that a standard student does because you want to be right in that crowd. How many of you guys are there? You want to fit in. And because of that, you don't ever take the time to really challenge and to analyze, is that what making it is? Is that what it takes to be successful? Because action without outcome is what, guys? Wasted effort, frustration, letdown. We want effective, targeted, purposeful, meaningful action that creates results. Because if you don't get the grades, guys, what is it all for? Right? What good does it do to look good if you aren't actually a good student? And that's where we get to the second phase, which was more what I was doing, which was that I didn't want people to think that I was dumb. Because when I first got there, right, the first week of freshman orientation, everyone was like, oh my gosh, are you on the football team? Oh my gosh, blah, blah. I'm like, guys, it's UC Irvine. Yes, we are the ferocious anteaters, zot, 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 but we do not have a football team. So how could I be here on football scholarship? I am not a football player. I am a student just like you. I am in biological sciences. I'm trying to go to medical school just like you, right? And so when people said this to me, I took on this thing like, oh, I can't let them feel like I'm dumb. I can't let them see me as not knowing everything. And so I put on a big old front, a faking frontin' front. Oh, I know what's up. I go to lecture. It's live action, y'all. People call me during this live stream here. Uh, I go to lecture and I pretend like I understand everything. I don't ask for clarification. I don't ask questions in lecture because I can't let people see that I don't understand everything. I don't want them to see me as dumb. I don't want to see them to see me as not knowing. How many of you guys have do that? You're scared to go to office hours and ask the questions you need to ask. And all that trying to look smart and being afraid to look dumb, left me failing classes, left me getting the D for dummy. I had to change my modality. I had to say, you know what? I am me. I can't be concerned about fitting in. I can't be concerned about others' perceptions of me being dumb. Instead, I have to get smart. I have to recognize and say, listen, you know what? I am not the great student I want to be, but I'm going to move past that and I'm going to become the great student. So once we get past this fake bravado and recognizing that this faking always leaves you coming up short consistently, guys, because you can only fake it so far. And what I would argue is faking it prevents you from actually making it. It's not fake it till you make it, it's fake it so that you don't make it. That's the real expression. And I say that because if you're constantly faking, like you know what's going on, if you're constantly not analyzing what you're doing and you're just going through the motions because everyone else is doing it, then how in the world can you actually do what you need to do to be successful? And as students, it's one of the most important lessons to learn, but it's one of the hardest lessons to learn because all throughout our education, we're thought to be robots and to do as a collective what we should do. But in reality, when you get to higher education, it's about finding what you need to do to be successful. And for each one of us, that's a unique proposition. It's a unique path that we have to walk to create our own success because we all have our own disadvantages. We all have our own obstacles. We all have our own obligations. We all have our own aspirations, even. So, how then can every student approach their academics the same? We cannot. We must have individualized approaches based on sound fundamentals of studying. And if we can do that, right? And that's what I teach my 5 pillars class. My 5 pillars course is a full system. But then I show you how to tailor it. And I teach you how to analyze and critical think about your performance and about what you're doing so that way you can tweak things and modify things and customize things and personalize it for yourself so you can be that successful student, right? With my Dominate Premed course, it's the same premise. Yes, I lay out what med schools are looking for. But then we go into each targeted section and say, hey, listen, this is what you could do. This is what you could do. This is what you could do. What are you passionate about? Let's follow this up. This is how you can follow. And I break those down so that way we can have a targeted, individualized approach. And what this approach is we go from faking it, from trying to fit in, we go to be our own selves. And from a fake it to make it mentality, we go to a grow and grind mentality. Where are my grinders at? Where are my growth mindset people at? Where we at this morning? Wake up. Patrice, what up? Julian, what up? Meryl, what up? Where are my grinders at? We're not going to be fake it till you make it. And we're not going to try to look good. We're going to work our arse off to get good. We're going to grow. We're going to focus on every single day as part of my growth trajectory, part of my process, part of me progressing. So we're not pretending anymore. What are we doing, y'all? We are progressing. I don't want pretenders. Pretending, y'all, is make believe. We don't want fairy tale success. We want real success. And to get that success, we got to stop pretending and start progressing. Grow and grind every single day. And so for my student Stephanie, it was funny because she was like, yeah, but I just feel like, man, I was working so much harder than my classmates. They just show up to class and it's so easy for them. And this is one of the big fallacies that leads to this whole fake it to make it thing, is that people think, oh, if I'm working harder than other people, then I'm doing something wrong. But as we develop our skill set, right, in every phase of our career, there's constantly going to be a part where we have to step into our greatness, where we have to grow into the opportunity. So when you level up to college, when you level up to graduate school, when you level to medical school, there's going to be a time where you have to find your rhythm. And so you may be working harder, but all that, right, I teach all my students, we front load. We want to do the heavy lifting up front in our lives such that we can benefit from the work we've done. It's right. Like you reap what you sow. We've got to plant the seeds. We've got to work the land. We've got to cultivate our greatness such that there will be a crop this year. There will be something to yield. But many students are afraid to put in that hard nitty gritty work up front, to do the hard work that it creates, that it requires to create that greatness. And so we have to flip our mentality and say, listen, I'm proud of the fact that I'm growing. I'm proud of the fact that I'm learning. And for me, it's one of those things, I never stop learning. I'm constantly consuming new content, even if I feel like I'm an expert in the subject, right? I'm an expert in learning and studying. I'm an expert in the pre-med process. I'm an expert in med school success, right? I'm giving a talk in a couple weeks. I'm giving 3 actual med school talks in a couple weeks, but I'm giving 1 in 2 weeks exactly. I'm going and teaching medical students how to be productive, how to get ready for residency. Yet I'm constantly listening, keeping my ear to the ground, talking to my contacts, figuring out even more, and having a huge volume of information to continue to grow myself. That way I am the ultimate pre-med productivity expert. That way I am the ultimate med school coach. That's me. So if I'm still growing, why should you be ashamed that you're still growing? In fact, I would say you should be proud if you're still growing, because if you're growing, I can guarantee you will be successful. Because if you're growing, if you're stretching, soon enough, you will outstretch all those people out here faking it till they make it. And this is what happened to me, is that I was willing to get my butt up at 4 a.m. and do the studying. I was willing to be hard on myself. I was willing to tell myself, you are messing up this opportunity. You are into college. You have an opportunity to become the first member of your family to graduate college. And you're screwing it up because you want to look pretty? You want to be a student with Spanx on? Let that gut out and then do some crunches and tighten it up. That's what I had to do as a student. And when I did that, and when I was growing, guys, no one could hang with me. And right, it became a thing. It was unfair. I felt bad almost for the other students. I would feel bad if it wasn't for that growth that I knew I was going through and the grind it took to grow that. If you are a hard worker, be proud of that. Because if you are someone who is growing and you are someone who likes to grind, right? If you were one of my grinders, you will be successful. Because to become hugely successful, guys, right? To achieve big goals, big dreams, what does it require? It requires big effort. It requires big action. That's what it requires. And as someone who's achieved literally every single academic and professional goal I've ever set, and I constantly set more, right, to continue to grow, but every single time, hey, listen, you know what? I'm getting F's and D's. Okay, let's just get B's. Okay, now I'm getting B's. Let's get A's. Okay, now I'm getting A's. Let's get A's on easy street, only studying 2 hours a day. Okay, you know what? Now let's get so good at everything that I'm just working on me. I'm not even caring about the classes are trivial. I'm going to take some dance classes. I'm going to take some business classes. Oh, you know what? I go to medical school right now, but I'm so interested in business. Let's go get a business degree. Let's go to UCLA, get a business degree. Oh, you know what? Now I'm going to go to medical school. What's going to do? I'm going to the best school I can go to. I'm going to go to Stanford. And then not only am I going to go to Stanford, but I'm going to become the best in my class. And I graduated top 5%. I set these goals and I hit these goals, and I was confident every single second of my journey because my competence, my success, my outcomes, I recognized and I tied to the fact that it is all about growth and grind. And every single time it got hard, and every single time I had a setback, I recognized, listen, that ain't nothing. That's an opportunity to stretch beyond my capability, my current capability, to become more, right? It's like a superhero movie, right? Every superhero movie, right? What's the arch? That's why we don't, right? What's the hero arc, right? You have a person, oh, they're struggling with their confidence, they feel weak inside, and then they have suffered some sort of personal tragedy. Uncle Ben dies. Oh my gosh, Uncle Ben dies. Oh my gosh, and I got bit by a spider. Oh my gosh. Okay, but now I've got this spider power, but then I don't know how to use it. I'm awkward, I'm falling over the place. I've got to grow and grind. I got to work on it, learn how to throw these webs, how to fly through the sky, right? Iron Man, right? He's a flame out of an engineer. Brilliant guy, wasting his talents. Oh my gosh, he suffered a tragedy, he was taken hostage, and then all of a sudden he builds this suit, and then he uses that suit to defend the world. Iron Man. You can be a real life superhero if you embrace that arc and recognize that superheroes are not born, they are made through tragedy, through travesty, through hardship, right? There's always, it's like the music in the background, hero training sequence, right? And they power up. Have you gone through your hero training sequence? I succeed and I'm confident in my success because I know every single day is an opportunity to continue my hero training sequence. I am the superhero. I am, right? Greatness is here and it's all right. Greatness comes from growth and grind. 3 G's. Oh, growth plus grind equals greatness. Bam. Do we understand? Do we understand, everybody? Right? Spencer saying, I'm reading Costanzo to prep for MS1, getting ahead to stay ahead. And that's what it's about, right? MD equals most determined. You guys have seen that shirt that I wear. That is what it's about, right? Ashley, what up? That is what we're doing. We're trying to push ourselves. We recognize we all have greatness inside of ourselves, but to bring it out, it requires growth and grind. And if you are faking it, you will not make it. You are holding yourself back because faking it is the opposite of working it. Faking it is the opposite of growing it. Faking it is the opposite of grinding. We got to be growth and grinders if we want to be greatness. Yes, yes? This is our Saturday morning talk. If you have enjoyed this video, take a second, like this video. If this is your first time here, welcome. Subscribe, turn on notifications. If you're listening to us on the podcast, we are on the podcast, right? This is the Premed Productivity Podcast. Get it. Also, quick question before we end. I'm going live once a week every week, right? This is my second live this week. Who wants multiple lives a week? Would you guys be interested in 3 times a week? Comment if you want 3 times a week. I'll go 3 times a week. I don't care. What do you guys want to do? If you guys want 3 podcast episodes a week, if you want more of this, if you're enjoying this, comment, let me know, and we can do it more frequently. If there's a topic you want to talk about, always comment, guys. Put in the box what you want to talk about, right? This upcoming week, we're talking about MD versus DO because someone asked for it. Let's go, guys. Superheroes are made. I actually just repeated what I said, right? That's what it's about. Absolutely, Ashley. Take that away from today. Superheroes are made. If you want to be a superhero, you know where the superhero factory is? It's at premedproductivity.com. That's the superhero factory. If you want to become a pre-med superhero, get to premedproductivity.com and get into a course. They're affordable. They're proven. They're fun. And you get coaching from me. What's better than that? Come on now, right? Working with me. So everyone have a wonderful Saturday. Like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications your first time. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys this week. We're going to go Tuesday because Thanksgiving's coming up. So Tuesday, we will be live action. Tuesday, 4:30. I'll see you guys there. How do we always end? No excuses, just dominate, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful, fantastical day. See you.